You don't know how tempting it is to change your mind before walking up here. By the way, why is it dude? Is there any other women come up here other than Lori? All right. So listen, if you've ever been to Philadelphia and you had a cannoli, you know those little Italian pastries, a tube with the ricotta cheese inside, chances are it came from Termini's. You know, for decades, celebrities from all over would go to Termini's. They had a reputation as the best Italian bakery in the city, maybe the country. You know, Sinatra went there, Mario Cuomo. I didn't really know anything about it because I was never allowed anywhere near the place. My mom's side of the family is Sicilian, and they had their own bakery a couple of blocks away from Termini's called Cosme's down South Philly, the corner of Oregon and Icemaker. And my grandmother's house is right across the street from Cosme's, so whenever we went down to visit Grandma, I would always walk across the street to visit her sister, my favorite member of the family, Aunt Grace, who was so kind of like big and bakerly, we used to call her Uncle Grace. So Uncle Grace was a sweetheart. I walked through that door and she put the canvas bag in my mouth and like squeezed the custard till they come out my ears. But Aunt Grace had no fucking time for Termini's. Whenever we would go shopping at the Italian market, we had to walk across the street so we wouldn't even pass in front of the Termini's windows. And she always would say, you know, they're the sellouts, they're the big empire. We're the ones that do the real old school, the old country tradition, not the Termini's. And that's the way it was for years and years until I was like in my mid-30s. And I was working overseas as a reporter for the Associated Press. And I come home, and instead of getting the big homecoming I was expecting, my mom's like bustling out the door. She goes, I don't have time. Joseph Termini died. And I'm like, oh, it's too bad. I gotta go get your grandmother. What, should I need an alibi? No, we're going to the funeral. After all, we're family. How are we family? Ask your grandmother. So we get in the car, and I said, Grandma, how are we related to Termini's? You don't want to know. I was like my grandmother's answer for everything. Grandma, how do you make these meatballs? You don't want to know. So we go to the church, and I walk inside, and there are just like pews and pews of faces like just like ours. Like everybody looks the same. Termini's, Cosme's, Gangemi's. Obviously, everybody in here is sharing the same bloodline. But I don't understand what the hell this feud has, where it came from. So I'm not getting the answers from my side of the family. So a couple days later, I go into the lair of the devil. I actually walk in for the first time in my life into Termini Bakery. And I walk in, and there is Vincent Termini. He's in his 50s. And not only does he look just like my grandmother, but he acts just like my aunt. He's like a male Uncle Grace. He's like an aunt. He's like an Aunt Vincent. And this guy gives me a tremendous welcome. And I don't want to ask him the question which is on my mind, which is like, why is it that my grandmother wants you dead? So he's showing me around, and he takes me to the back, and he actually shows a sign of faith. He actually shows me how they make the cannolis. And this is the kind of secret that most bakers keep to themselves, Some put a little bit of port wine in the batter. You got to get the temperatures just right. These shells are very, very fragile. You got to get them just right. So we're eating some snacks, we're talking, and I said, so listen, Vincent, why is it that our families don't get along? He's like, honestly, I don't really know. It's just something from years ago. No one ever told me. He said, you should ask your Aunt Albertina. So my Aunt Albertina was my grandmother's older sister. So I go to ask her, and before I leave, Vincent takes a little white box and he fills it with cookies, ties up with a white string, and writes on it, to Albertina, love Vincent. So I walk now from Termini's, a couple blocks away, back to the Cosme side, and I go see my Aunt Albertina. And we sit down, and she pours some coffee, puts a little Jolly Canadian Club inside, and we have the cookies. And she tells me the whole story. She finally reveals the secret. She said that back in the 1920s, 3 brothers from Sicily and their sister, my great-great-grandfather, his 2 brothers, and their sister came to South Philly. They opened Termini Brothers Bakery. After a few years, the sister, who was married and had kids, her husband hired a painter to come fix up the apartment. She leaves with the painter and runs off to Connecticut. So 2 of the brothers go, well, this is a stain on the family. We got to go drag the bitch back by the hair. And I'm proud to say that my great-great-grandfather had a different viewpoint. He's like, leave her and her hair alone. It's her life. Huge fight in the family. So my great-great-grandfather walks out. He forms Termini Pastries as opposed to Termini Brothers Pastries. He has a daughter who marries a guy named Cosme's. So Termini Pastries becomes Cosme's Pastries. Termini Brothers becomes Termini's. And over decades, the feud persists. Even though no one remembers anymore why the hell it started in the first place. So I have an idea. I'm going to write an article for Philadelphia Magazine. I'm going to put this thing out in the open, let everyone see how ridiculous it is. And I'm also going to reveal a little secret for Vincent. Vincent was still cutting out his cannoli shells by hand because he didn't believe there's any way to cut cannoli shells with a machine without roading them. But my great uncle Gidio was a great tinkerer, and he had figured out an invention which would let you cut 4 or 5 things at a time. So in the article, I reveal to Vincent that the secret that he's been looking for is a couple blocks away in his cousin's basement. I write the article. 2 days later, I get a letter from Vincent telling me to fuck off and die. How dare I reveal the family secrets? My grandmother should be ashamed of me, which I feel is kind of a beautiful ending to the story because in like my own way, I was able to keep on, carry on the family tradition. Thanks, guys.